the dealer's floor with tips and tricks and so much more. Be the buyer that's wise and smart. Rolling in style, you're off to a start. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto-supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Got a question, ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Ooh, Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto-supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto-supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice.
So good. Tune in Tuesdays, don't be late. Nate and Mike got info great. Local auto news you need to hear. Ready to shift your knowledge gear. They're the pros from the dealer's floor, with tips and tricks and so much more. Be the buyer that's wise and smart. Rolling in style, you're off to a start. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto-supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make our shopping extra nice. Got a question, ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto-supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make our shopping extra nice. Think of Porsche on every day. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto-supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make our shopping extra nice. We are so glad you're here. Tune in Tuesdays, don't be late. Nate and Mike got info great. Local auto news you need to hear. Ready to shift your knowledge gear. The pros from the dealer's floor, with tips and tricks and so much more. Be the buyer that's wise and smart. Rolling in style, you're off to a start. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto-supplied. question, ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair. Story flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supply. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supply. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Tune in Tuesdays, don't be late. Nate and Mike got info great. Local auto news you need to hear. Ready to shift your knowledge gear. They're the pros from the dealer's floor, with tips and tricks and so much more. Be the buyer that's wise and smart. Rolling in style, you're off to a start. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Got a question, ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Got a question, ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Oh, no. Table
Tune in Tuesdays, don't be late. Nate and Mike got info great. Local auto news you need to hear. Ready to shift your knowledge gear. They're the pros from the dealer's floor with tips and tricks and so much more. Be the buyer that's wise and smart. Rolling in style, you're off to a start. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Got a question, ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Ooh, Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare.
Check, 1, 2, check. Anything coming through?
Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice.
So good. Tune in Tuesdays, don't be late. Nate and Mike got info great. Local auto news you need to hear. Ready to shift your knowledge gear. They're the pros from the dealer's floor with tips and tricks and so much more. Be the buyer that's wise and smart. Rolling in style, you're off to a start. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Got a question, ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make our shopping extra nice. Think of Porsche on every day. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make our shopping extra nice. We are so glad you're here. Tune in Tuesdays, don't be late. Nate and Mike got info great. Local auto news you need to hear. Ready to shift your knowledge gear. The pros from the dealer's floor with tips and tricks and so much more. Be the buyer that's wise and smart. Rolling in style, you're off to a start. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supply. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Got a question? Ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair. Story flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supply. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supply. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Tuning Tuesdays, don't be late. Nate and Mike got info great. Local auto news you need to hear. Ready to shift your knowledge gear. They're the pros from the dealer's floor, with tips and tricks and so much more. Be the buyer that's wise and smart. Rolling in style, you're off to a start. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supply. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Got a question? Ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supply. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Got a question? Ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supply. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supply. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Oh, no.
Tune in Tuesdays, don't be late. Nate and Mike got info great. Local auto news you need to hear. Ready to shift your knowledge gear. They're the pros from the dealer's floor with tips and tricks and so much more. Be the buyer that's wise and smart. Rolling in style, you're off to a start. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Got a question, ask away. Nate and Mike got things to say. Guests drop in with insights to share. They'll guide you with their expert flair. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Ooh, Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice. Stories flow, insights unfold. Stay ahead, drive bold and cold. Mohawk secrets shared with care. Hit the road with confidence to spare. Mohawk Table Talk, come join the ride. The podcast that's got you auto supplied. From deals to trends and buying advice, we'll make car shopping extra nice.
So good. Tune in Tuesdays, don't be late. Nate and Mike got info great. Local auto news you need to hear. Ready to shift your knowledge gear. They're the pros from the dealer's floor with tips and tricks and so much more. Be the buyer that's wise and smart.
All right, y'all, welcome. We made it. We're a little bit off.
It's okay.
But if you're watching the replay, it doesn't even matter.
That's right. Only a couple minutes late.
Only a couple minutes late.
Mohawk Table Talk's back, though. Almost on time. That should be our new slogan.
Yes. Almost on time. Tuesdays, 12:30.
Ish.
Ish.
There's an ish on the
12:30-ish.
end.
Yeah, we'll just say 12:30-ish.
That's right.
There, perfect.
But we're here.
We're here. Well, it's seasons of change. Well, sometimes. I mean, April here in upstate New York, you get that third winter. We're in the third winter. What depends on how long that third winter will be until it decides that it wants to be spring.
I love those, what are those memes where it says like winter, then fake spring number one, then winter again. And
Yep.
I don't know where we're at.
You
But we have
are
to be
here.
close to the end. Yeah,
You are here in the cycle of upstate New York.
That's right. But the reason is in Scotia yesterday, I don't think today, but yesterday, there was a little bit of snow on the ground.
Yeah, there was.
Now, it didn't last very long. I don't think
Nope.
it made it past like 8 a.m., but it was there. So I know when I woke up, and I looked outside. I said, what is going on here? I had no idea there was going to be just some flurries.
There was a small little dusting on right underneath my tree, and I was like, no, go away.
I know. It got me in a little bit depression, but by the time I got to my car, it was melting. I say, you know what? We need to talk to the folks about the season of change, which is right now. It is, what's today's date? It's the 8th. So it's April 8th.
April 8th, 2025.
And tax day is next week.
Tax day is next week.
Right, so-
14th, I believe, is the
I think
last.
it's the 15th.
15th, like I said.
A week from today.
Week from today.
That's right. So after tax day, then there's definitely no going back to winter.
Correct.
I refuse it. We refuse it. The groundhog, we're well past the groundhog's prediction, so we're out of winter. But as it relates to season of change, there's a lot of things going on. There's some things going on that we should at least mention about your vehicle, whether you own the vehicle yet or whether you're going to buy one, and that's what we're here to talk about today.
Yeah, there's a lot. Spring brings a lot of things, not just what's going on in the current climate of all things buying at the moment, apparently.
Yep.
But spring brings coming out of winter, which means coming out of potholes that are not filled in yet, bad alignments, bad tires, bent rims, all that fun stuff.
I don't know about you, but I'm one of those people that when I drove over those spring potholes and I know it's going to happen and I just kind of go like,
yeah, right?
Ooh,
you know it's coming and you're just like,
that was not
oh, God.
That was
it
not
like
a good
almost
one.
hurt your soul a little bit. You're like, you feel like you actually, like, you feel like the pothole hit you, but you're like, oh, my poor car.
That's right.
But here at Mohawk Honda and Mohawk Chevrolet, we have the ability to fix all that, which we'll get into in just a moment. But we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the current climate of buying vehicles, all that fun stuff. But before we get into that, Chevrolet is having a cool little tire event.
They are.
Yeah. Buy 3 tires, get 1 for just $1.
Wow. For $1?
For $1.
A tire for $1, but you got to buy the other 3. But I've never known anybody to want to buy 1 tire anyway, unless you had a blowout. So assuming that you're going to replace those tires, because I hear people every day that going back to fall or winter, they said, you know what, we're just going to make it through. Then next year when spring comes, I'm going to put those brand new set of tires on. I'm going to do all these things. Well, that time has come. So what better time to take advantage of a tire for $1 when you buy the other 3?
That's right. So check that out. Another thing with spring comes road work. Now, I don't know about you, Mike, but there's sometimes I'm like, man, I really wish there wasn't any road work on the road. But it always seems there's just a constant, never-ending, always going on, always in my way road work.
But it's so tough. I'm with you. It seems like everywhere you go, more orange cones. Oh, more orange cones. But it's not that I don't appreciate it. It's not that we don't appreciate it.
Correct.
Because you're out there working, you're fixing the roads
Right.
so that we can be safer and maybe even get some better fuel economy and eliminate those potholes, hopefully.
Yes. It just always seems like it's just never ending. So maybe we need to hire a little more so there's like a little like lax time that we don't have to worry about any of that. But super hot. There's only the few times you like driving on the road. Sundays and at night.
That's right.
Well, that's not even true because now they do road work at night. But
that's right. But
early mornings.
It is early mornings, and big shout out if you're one of those folks that are in those road crews, work for the state or otherwise, or contractors. Boy, that's not easy.
No,
they're out there super early, whether it's snowing, raining, or whatever. They're out there doing their thing, and we certainly appreciate it. All kidding aside, because without that, we wouldn't be able to keep us and our customers and our drivers safe. So that's a big deal. Now, just to segue a little bit, you remember last week we had Greg Johnson on. He gave us some insight on a few things. But one of the things that he talked about at the Honda store, at least, are the additional services that the Honda store service department has. So should you be that driver like I am and you hit that pothole or you scrape that wheel or anything, we have the ability to handle those things.
Right. You come in for your service, and if we find anything using our UVI machine,
that's right,
we can actually fix that right on spot, and you can leave with your vehicle brand new.
Exactly. And I'll frame that for the folks. In case you didn't catch the live yesterday,
yes.
I walked through some of the specifics on how that UVI machine works.
Yep.
And again, that's UV, the letters, and then I.
Like your eyeball.
Right, like you can see. So anyway, it's a machine that's installed both stores, Mohawk Honda, Mohawk Chevrolet. Mm-hmm. They are a state-of-the-art military-grade machines that are installed in the service drive. And by the service drive, we mean, when you come in for service and you drive up to the overhead doors. When you drive through, this system scans your vehicle and provides a whole bunch of data for you and for the service department.
Right.
And the fact that this scanner provides this data saves you time, saves us time, definitely saves you some money.
It definitely saves you money because there's typically a diag fee with, if you're like, hey, Can you look around my car? Can you look at my tires? Doing all that stuff. So we can get a lot of the preliminaries out. And if you actually need a diag DIAG is short for diagnosis fee for anyone out there. you can you can kind of mitigate all of that just by looking at this machine.
And if you didn't catch what I said, the UVI scan doesn't cost anything. So there's no diag fee. The UVI scan is free. We have a few things going on behind here. I don't know if there's technicalities. No problem.
Just pull the plug.
Oh, okay.
Pull the plug. Pull it out.
There we go.
There we go.
That's right. Our TikTok folks are back.
If
they were in black there, hopefully they were still hearing us okay. Any case, so that UVI system is super helpful, and what it will help do, besides provide the vitals for your vehicle when you drive over in milliseconds, is it will let us know if we should recommend some of our repair that we offer, which is we can repair those bent wheels. Yep. Hopefully it didn't bend it in those potholes, but bent wheels, scraped wheels, obviously tires, if those need to be replaced, if there are any leaks under the vehicle that just happen from winter driving, we can certainly address those, and it's always best to get ahead of those things when we know that they're there instead of waiting. You don't want to put off those types of repairs.
Right. There's also, we heard about the potholes, but if you're ever like going around a curb, right, and you hear that crunch and you're like, like it's like almost like the nail boards on the the nails on the chalkboard feel. You're like, oh my God, no, stop. You're trying to we can fix that, and make sure that your rim looks all good. So that's always.
Yeah. Just like Greg had pointed out, like Nate was saying, so especially at the Honda store, at both stores, we have a one-stop repair for you. So instead of like the old days where you came in for your oil change here and then you went somewhere else to get that wheel repaired, everything is possible to be handled right in that same visit. Saves you time, and it's all done. Don't procrastinate. Get it over with. So that's super helpful. So those are some of our tips as we have this season of change. Those things should be addressed now, because as you come into the spring and summer months, I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to spending some time outside on vacation, taking those trips. What I don't want to do is have my car in the shop. So I might as well do it now.
Yeah. Right? Yes, do it now. If you have some summer trips, right, like get everything set now so that, like, say you need something a little bit extra, you can save up the money back for the vacation that you're going on, you have to drive for. So now's the time to look. Come on in, take a look at either our Honda or our Chevrolet store, and so we can get you looked at and, get you back on the road and make sure you're safe for all that driving that you want to do.
Absolutely. So service your vehicle with us at either store, Mohawk Honda, Mohawk Chevrolet. However, we had some crazy records set last month.
We did.
In sales. So if you're not interested in maybe keeping that vehicle and you wanted to trade it for a new vehicle, which has new tires, which everything's all good. There's a lot of folks who opted to do that. We had some records set last month, didn't we?
We had a lot of records set.
Both stores.
Both stores across I'm pretty sure all the departments, service, parts, sales, and 650 cars, or should I say vehicles. For the technical people out there. 650 vehicles for our Honda store, and then 366 for our Chevrolet store.
That is a lot of cars.
Records for both stores. And when we mean records, we mean like ever.
Meaning
ever.
And when we say records, that's the total only for 1 month. So just March of 2025. 650 for Honda, 366 for Chevrolet. Both were all-time records, meaning there was never a month where we did that many cars at either store before. And you add those two together, that's over 1,000 cars, 1,000 Mohawk family members that were added,
right,
or maybe re-added. We have a lot of folks who, of course, come back and have purchased multiple vehicles from either store. So that's a huge thank you from our team at Mohawk to you. But that's certainly a way to avoid those repairs on your wheels and all that kind of thing.
Yes.
Trade it in. Let us worry about it.
Right. I mean, and just like Mike said, we couldn't do this without our community. So if you are watching this and you are one of our friends out there who took delivery of their vehicle or have in the past, right? We don't just care about this month, although this month was great. We do care about everybody that has purchased vehicles, that does make us who we are. So thank you to our community out there, and thank you to our listeners out there that are listening, whether it's on Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all those fun places. So thank you for listening.
Absolutely. Huge thanks. And we obviously wouldn't do this if we didn't care about our customers and our partners. We want to make sure that we are informative, and anybody who's, whether you're looking to purchase a vehicle, service a vehicle, or just want to pass a little time with watching Nate and myself, we want to at least update you on what's going on in the market. One thing I believe, it is a little bit of a guess, but one thing that may have fueled some of those sales at both stores last month was the continuous talk about the auto import tariffs that are now in effect. They've been in effect for almost a week. They were effective April 3rd, which was a few days ago, the end of last week, and there could possibly have been some fuel to maybe moving some people ahead in that buying cycle, and I think that probably had something to do with where the new car sales last month.
Yeah, and I think that before we get into this topic, we want to say this out there, like, be careful what you're watching, be careful what you're listening to, because the news likes to, they're always looking for that story. They're always looking to bring out that negative Nancy out of all of us, and they tend to blow things out of proportion. And that's why we're here. We are working to set the record straight to make sure that you guys have a better understanding. And as this progresses, we are going to get a better understanding. We're not complete experts, but we are listening to this every day. We're trying to stay. We're trying to keep our finger to the pulse to understand what is going on out there. So
exactly, and there's a lot of uncertainty, but what we want to do is hit you with some facts. One of the facts are that last Thursday, April 3rd, 2025, a 25% import tariff on vehicles produced outside the United States was imposed. However, where does that put us today? Right, and this is very fluid, meaning it's changing. It kind of changes almost day by day, or it could change day by day.
Correct.
So I'd like to just kind of give a quick rundown on what that means to you as a potential customer, or what that means to you as a vehicle owner, and what that means to the dealership. Yep. So as of right now, and we're talking to you from the Honda building, the Honda store has Honda as a manufacturer has the majority of the Honda vehicles that we sell in the United States are actually produced in the United States. So those vehicles at this point are not subject to tariff. The last number I saw was 62% are produced in state. So that leaves, of course, 38% that are produced out of state, and the majority are produced in Canada and in Mexico. And those countries, those neighboring countries, the bordering countries, certainly are subject to the tariff. However, there hasn't been any action to change any pricing as of today, from Honda, that is. So there's still some debate on how each manufacturer is going to handle this. But to further define kind of how tariffs work within a manufacturer, just kind of super simple. And we did this exercise with our staff just so there was some understanding. As it relates to vehicles that are produced outside of the United States, those vehicles are subject to tariff. However, the total tariff amount that is going to be imposed on those vehicles as they're imported are not necessarily going to be imposed only on those vehicles, right? So if you can kind of follow me, if we had a vehicle, let's use a Honda, for example, and we had 10 Honda vehicles, and one of the 10, a $30,000 vehicle, for example, one of the 10 was produced outside of the United States and imported, but the other 9 were produced inside the United States. That means one vehicle is subject to tariff out of those 10. And if the tariff is 25%, $30,000 vehicle, that's a $7,500 difference. Right. So what happens is, instead of the manufacturer just adding $7,500 to that one vehicle and changing it from a $30,000 vehicle to a $37,500 vehicle, what the manufacturer does is take that $7,500 tariff and spread it out among those 10 vehicles. So each vehicle in this example would be affected by $750, as opposed to one vehicle being affected by $7,500, right? So when we talk about tariffs, it's not necessarily vehicle specific, right? So we would just want to caution somebody who's interested in searching for a vehicle, if they do see some effect from tariffs from manufacturers, it's not a question of trying to find vehicles that are made within the U.S., because that additional tariff expense is going to, in most cases, be spread among all the vehicles that are sold, whether they're imported vehicles or not. That's why you heard Greg last week talk about there could possibly be a couple $1,000s worth of change on Honda vehicles. It's not only on imported vehicles; it would be on all of them, so that everything is kind of level set. Right. And it needs to be like that, because there certainly are vehicles, especially with Hondas, we have one model where we have both like a CRV, for example, where the CRV is made in the U.S., and we also have a different CRV that may have been outside of the U.S. So it wouldn't make any sense for Honda to increase a drastic amount on only one CRV, right, and not the other. That wouldn't make any sense. And it also has to stay within a price range as we're looking in the CRV lineup, or rather in the SUV lineup, HRV, CRV, Passport, Pilot, they need to stay in that same price band. That way they can stay affordable for folks. So hopefully that made a little bit of sense. So just understand that, we do see some media. We see some media kind of reporting to viewers, here are the vehicles made in the U.S., almost like directing potential shoppers to, well, go find these vehicles that are made in the U.S. as opposed to not made in the U.S. That certainly needs to be discussed. I advise that you, especially as it relates to Mohawk Auto Group customers, that you contact Mohawk Honda, you contact Mohawk Chevrolet, speak with a sales professional, speak with one of the managers. We're happy to chat with you about what the impact is on your vehicle search and on your pricing. That's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah.
That way you're not involving third parties that really are not you as the customer, and you're not the dealer like we are, and we're going to work together. We're not going to work with that third party. So just check with us. But I'm happy to report that as of today, there has not been any price changes that Honda has imposed to any vehicles. Obviously, we'll continue to update the audience, and we'll continue to update our staff and customers on how that will impact us if there's any change to that going forward.
Yeah, and what I want to put out there, right? At the end of the day, these OEMs, they're businesses. They know exactly what Mike was talking about, if one vehicle has to go up, they're not going to be like, oh yeah, this one vehicle model is going to go up $10,000.
That's right.
As a business model, that would not make any sense, right? Because you're going to alienate anyone who ever wanted to buy that vehicle. They're like, why would I buy this vehicle when I just get this one for the same price and
exactly.
It's slightly bigger? And the media has definitely brought this to the next level in terms of scaring people to tariffs on everything. And we think of tariff like, oh no, it's a little bit of inflation right now, right? The goal is to bring things back so that there's more money to be made inside of America that will eventually bring some type of normalcy to us so that we can have these vehicles back to normal,
Absolutely.
Right? And OEM manufacturers are working to bring things back into America. That's what we're told. And I know that the manufacturers are working to bring a solution out that's best for the customer.
Yes.
And we always think that the OEMs are out to get us, that they're out to, make the quick buck, but this is not the case. They're thinking about the best way to retain customers. And we saw this with GM. GM is making vehicles that people want to buy, and they're making vehicles that are gaining more market share. So if we think about it, why would they take this price and then automatically jack it up? If they can find a place to make it more affordable for their customers, they're going to do that. And they're going to do the best they can they're going to spread it wherever they can. They might have to raise a little bit of everything everywhere, put a little bit extra here, put a little bit extra there. But at the end of the day, they're doing it to make it more affordable for the customer. And That's what we have to think about when we're looking at new vehicles.
Absolutely. Affordability will always remain, right? Tariffs, no tariffs, whatever. Affordability is the name of the game.
Right.
Because if vehicles aren't affordable, then people aren't going to buy them.
Right.
It makes sense. And like Nate said, in terms of what the manufacturers are going to do, there's no black and white answer to that, and each manufacturer may do something a little bit different. We're less than a week in, so we have not seen any impact yet. We haven't had any feedback yet. We haven't had any news reports yet about manufacturers changing prices drastically.
Right.
So far, what I've seen, this is just with me reading, the daily news, the automotive news, is that a lot of manufacturers are doing their best to try to absorb this,
right,
so that the price to the customer isn't increased or isn't increased as much as you would think it would be. They're trying to absorb this, understanding that this is a competitive market.
Right.
Now, there certainly are a few manufacturers that have no way to do that, that are 100% imported vehicles. They're not a lot, but there certainly are some. Just to use a couple names, some German manufacturers like Porsche, some others like Land Rover. They have no U.S. based production at all, so all of their vehicles would be subject to tariffs. And we know that they're, now they don't have as big a market share as a Honda or a Chevrolet.
Right.
But the good news is, from our seat at least, is that Mohawk Auto Group, both the Honda and the General Motors, specifically Chevrolet, are really big players in this area. Really, a lot of market share, a lot of penetration in terms of how many vehicles are on the road in our area, and we have not seen any change to pricing with them so far. So we'll certainly keep you updated. And those are certainly two different scenarios. The Honda Chevrolet scenario compared to like a German import or whatever.
Right.
Those are two different things. So.
Yeah, and also think about that. Like, where's the vehicle actually coming from? And if you have no idea and you've been under a rock and have no idea what these tariffs are, essentially it's vehicles that are made outside, final assembly, and major crucial parts. So I don't have the full list of what they're considering major crucial parts, but like the engine or the transmission.
That's
like
right.
Those are the crucial parts that are wherever they're being finalized and brought in, wherever they're being shipped in from, that's when the tariff would come into place. So yes, the Porsche, the Land Rover, the Volkswagens, things like that are all German made and shipped over, they would potentially have this if nothing is done.
Yeah, and to get to the reason why that might have impacted sales last month, there's certainly, and makes sense to me, there certainly are folks that maybe were considering buying a vehicle in April, May, June, whatever. That was just the time they had decided they were going to buy a vehicle, and they saw the news about tariffs. Well, why not speed up the process, right? Why not at the end of March? Why not, right?
Right.
Because what we can say for our clients is that we know what the pricing is today. Right, the vehicles that are sitting outside, available for sale, we know that price. Those are facts. What we don't know is what might happen in 30 days, 60, 6 months. We don't know that. So some folks are taking advantage of the prices that we do know today and making that decision. So certainly that's obviously up to each consumer, whether they'd like to, work in the now, on the now program with certainty, or kind of see what's going to happen as it relates to tariffs. But if for some reason there is a little bit of an influence, or I should say an increase in vehicle prices, new vehicle prices, the good thing is that actually might impact trade values.
Right.
So if you have that vehicle you'd like to trade, a lot of times, even though that new vehicle might be more, the demand for those pre-owned might be more. So it actually may not be terrible overall. So
no.
We don't want to ever paint a picture that everything
fluctuates, right?
Exactly.
We kind of saw it during the COVID era too. One went up, one went down.
Yep.
Another one goes up, another one goes down, and then they rise back up, and then another one comes in. It's a constant fluctuation, and that's why we have this podcast to kind of keep you in the loop of everything that's going on, whether it's tariffs, whether it's getting your car ready to go, and these minor little things that you have to think about. But I would say if you are buying a vehicle or you are considering buying a vehicle, if the dealership doesn't have it and they are going to have to order it, just be aware that the price that you agree upon may not be the actual price. And why do I say that? Are they pulling the wool over my eyes? No, they're not doing that. At least Mohawk is not doing that. I can't speak for any other dealership, but I know what we're doing here, and we will have to adjust the price accordingly to what the manufacturer sends us the vehicle for. So there is a little bit of uncertainty, and we'll do the best we can. But I want to make sure that we preface that and let people know about that as well.
Yeah, that's certainly important. That's a certainly general statement, and that's not meant to scare you. But what we'd like to do is communicate with you directly when you speak with a sales professional at either the Honda store or the Chevrolet store. We'll walk through exactly what that means to you, and you may not be affected. You may be buying a vehicle that's not affected by this, and there's a lot of kind of caveats to that.
Correct. So I would rather you guys know about that and be able to address that yourself, or make sure you at least ask the question, right? Ask questions. You're here to buy probably the second biggest purchase of your life. we want to make sure you have the right questions so that you make the best decision for yourselves.
Yes, absolutely. And we're not sure if this whole thing will result in any type of inventory shortage. It's not as of now. In fact, there are some manufacturers, there are some vehicles where it's actually a surplus, like there's a lot of cars on the ground. I'll kind of segue this into today's bet you didn't know.
Ooh.
And I didn't prep anybody. I got a few people here in the room that probably may have seen this. Or this is probably just a statement. I don't know if it's a bet you didn't know. But did you see these posts? This is the bet you didn't know. I'll read it right from Yahoo Autos, right in big bold. Tesla sitting on thousands of unsold Cybertrucks as it stops accepting its own cars as trades. Did you see that?
What?
So this is what I heard on the
way.
live wire was that Tesla, we're talking about Tesla themselves, not accepting Cybertrucks as trades, right? And now this is all just based on what AP posted, so don't come after me for accuracy, but it's right here. Tesla is sitting on thousands of unsold Cybertrucks. The total number in stock unsold reaches over 2,000 unsold Cybertrucks that are not being sold, and we're not sure why. The posts don't say why. You'd have to assume it's somewhat of a demand thing. So, in terms of people that already have them, boy, that's pretty tough. If you have a Cybertruck,
Well, they also have a bunch of recalls on them, don't they?
Yeah, maybe. They may be.
Well,
they may be. So
yeah.
I didn't bring this up to say anything bad about Tesla by any means or Cybertrucks, but as we're talking about, surpluses of inventory, meaning where there's more inventory than there are buyers, this certainly might be in that realm. And all we normally talk about is how Tesla's leading the market.
Yeah.
In sales. They're 7 or 8% market share in EVs, and other than last year, they've always owned more than 50% of that. I mean, they're the leader. But maybe to be continued, this kind of view on Tesla as it relates to just the Cybertruck is kind of interesting.
Wow.
And I know I caught Nate by surprise because he hadn't seen that.
No, I
so
haven't
that
seen
definitely
that.
is a bet you didn't know because he didn't know. But that's a real thing. Conversely, ironically, the Tesla's Model Y is still one of the best-selling vehicles in the world. So
I do
it's
like
not
the Model
brand.
Y, so I'll give them that.
Yeah, it's not the brand by any means. And they actually, quote, despite producing the Tesla Model Y, the most popular new car on the planet last year, Tesla has a rough time so far in 2025 as the EV maker has faced Tesla takedown protests and so forth, unquote. So that's right from Yahoo Autos. But that's just kind of interesting. That's not related to tariffs. It had nothing to do with tariffs. It had nothing to do with Mohawk Auto Group. But that's certainly in the news. And that seems to be a very isolated incident as it relates to surplus. From what I've seen and what I've heard, I haven't heard of any other manufacturers, including Chevrolet and Honda, that have any surplus of inventory. It's not quite a shortage, but it seems to be right on par with what the demand is. So that's good for a buyer. So you have a selection, yet you're not you're not hurting resale where there's tons of vehicles sitting around.
Maybe they'll bring the Cybertruck less than 100,000.
Yeah,
if they want to get it sold. I don't know.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Like you either hate the Cybertruck or you love the Cybertruck. But there's definitely been a few things about the Cybertruck that people are not happy about.
Right, but we have had the opportunity to see a lot firsthand, right? Because Rap Kings has done a number of them, right?
Yeah.
So we've been able to check out some local owners who had their vehicle customized at Rap Kings, which is really, it was a really pretty cool couple projects they did. But we've been able to see them firsthand. Yeah,
I think we had either 3 or 4 Cybertrucks here at Rap Kings to really take a look at them. I know if you haven't checked the news at all, but like Cybertruck specifically, people have been talking about the side panels falling off.
Oh, jeez.
Not being able to tow what this says it can tow. And so like the bumper's just like literally falling off. So like, I think Tesla's doing it to themselves on this Cybertruck. They're like, this is a really cool truck, but we didn't perfect it. We just slapped it together and sent it out. Because everyone was expecting it, but we were kind of late to the game, so we just needed to get them out. And now it might be coming back to bite them in the butt.
Well, if there's any self-service to this little spot that we just talked about, this little rift, the good news is the Silverados are dead set top seller in the market. So,
and good news is that if you're going to buy a Cybertruck, you might as well take a look at the Silverado EV.
Right. That's right. So visit Mohawk Chevrolet. That's Route 67 in Malta, New York. Or look us up at MohawkChevrolet.com and check out the inventory of non-Cybertruck quality full-size pickup trucks.
Yes. We have, we talked about a lot.
We did. I
We
think
talked
we're
about
there.
Spring. We talked about the tariffs. So if you're just hopping on or didn't get a chance to listen to this, you can listen to it on Spotify, whether you're going for a run or hopping home in your car. Take a listen to this episode if you're just hitting the replay. If you have been following us, whether you're on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, not Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok, our TikTok friends over there, seeing the behind the scenes of the podcast. We want to thank you. If you're live in the showroom watching the show, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found some value in this. If you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the comments. If you want to know where those links are, just let us know, and we'll throw them in the description for you.
That's right. And we'll see everybody next week. We'll bring you an update on the tariff situation and also what's going on in our community. We'll see you next week.
All right, everyone. Mohawk Table Talk, Mike and Nate, we're out.